All right, so let's actually talk about the application process itself for revenue-based financing.
Yeah, let's demystify this whole thing.
It's actually a lot more streamlined than you might think.
Okay,
The
good.
first step is all about research,
Oh,
finding the right RBF provider for your needs.
makes sense. So you wouldn't just partner with any investor. You
Exactly.
got to do your due diligence.
Absolutely.
Find a provider whose terms and values really align with your goals.
Exactly. Take your time, explore different providers, compare their terms, their rates.
See who specializes in your industry, stuff like that.
Yeah, some might focus on high-growth tech startups. Others might be more into e-commerce or subscription businesses.
Okay, so it's all about finding that right match, just like any other business partnership.
Exactly.
So let's say I've done my research, got my short list. What's next? Just send them my business plan and hope for the best.
Not quite. Most RBF providers offer what they call a pre-qualification process.
Okay, what is that?
It's like a quick temperature check before you dive into the whole application.
Okay,
It lets you get a preliminary assessment of your eligibility
I see.
and potential terms without actually committing to the full application.
So it's low stakes. You can kind of see if you're even in the ballpark.
Exactly.
What does that usually involve?
Usually it's just a simple online form.
Okay.
You provide some basic information about your business.
Like revenue history, stuff like that?
Yeah, exactly. And your funding needs.
Okay.
And the provider will use that information to see if you kind of align with their criteria.
Got it. So it's quick and easy.
Yeah, it's a good first step.
So you don't waste time on a full application if it's not a good fit.
Exactly.
Okay. But let's say you've passed that pre-qualification, you're feeling good about this particular provider. Then what? Is that when the real paperwork starts?
Yeah, then the formal application process kicks in.
Okay.
They'll typically ask for more detailed information about your business.
Like what kind of stuff?
You know, your legal structure, industry, revenue history, growth projections, bank account details.
Okay, so this is where those organized financials really come in handy.
Oh, absolutely. This is your chance to really show them a comprehensive picture of your business.
Past, present, future.
Exactly.
And your business plan too, right?
Yes. This is where that well-crafted business plan can really shine.
Show them your vision, your strategy, how you're going to use that funding.
Exactly. It shows them you're not just looking for a quick cash infusion.
You're thinking long term.
Absolutely. And remember, transparency is key here.
Yeah, be upfront about your challenges, your aspirations.
Exactly. Building trust is essential for a good partnership.
So it's about being authentic. No smoke and mirrors.
Exactly. Just be real.
Okay, so I've submitted my application, attached all my documents, poured my heart and soul into my business plan. Now what? Just sit back and wait.
Well, not quite. The RBF provider will go through what's called an underwriting process.
Okay, what's that?
They're going to assess your application in detail, analyze your financials, scrutinize your business model, all that good stuff.
So it's like a financial health check.
You got it. And this is where having those strong revenue streams,
Right.
solid projections, clear plan for growth, it all pays off.
Now what about credit scores? Do those matter as much?
They do play a role, but not as much as with traditional lenders.
Okay.
They might do a soft credit check, but it's not always a deal breaker.
So there's hope for those of us with a few bumps in the road.
Exactly. It's all about presenting the whole picture.
Showing that you're responsible, you have a plan.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so they've gone through my application, analyzed everything, checked my credit. What's next?
They might do some additional due diligence.
Okay, what does that mean?
You know, verifying your business information, checking references, maybe looking at your online presence.
So they're doing their homework?
Yeah, making sure everything checks out.
And if everything looks good?
Then they'll present you with an offer.
Okay, so the offer arrives. It's like getting that acceptance letter to your dream college.
Yeah, it's exciting.
But before we celebrate, what should we be looking for in that offer?
Great question. You don't want to just sign on the dotted line without really understanding the terms.
Right, got to read the fine print.
Exactly. Pay attention to the funding amount, the repayment terms, the percentage of revenue you'll share.
Okay.
Things like the repayment cap, the revenue share percentage, any other fees or conditions.
So it's time to channel my inner negotiator.
Exactly. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Push back on certain points.
Make sure you're comfortable with everything.
Absolutely. It's not just about getting the lowest rate or the highest funding amount.
Right. It's about finding terms that align with your business goals.
Your long-term vision.
Because A deal that looks good on paper might not actually be the best fit in the long run.
Exactly. And remember, the RBF landscape is competitive.
Okay.
So shop around, compare offers from different providers.
It's like buying a car. You don't just take the first offer.
Exactly. You got to negotiate the best deal.
Okay, I've reviewed the offer, negotiated the terms. I'm feeling good. What's next?
Well, usually there's some final paperwork.
Like what?
Signing the official agreement, setting up any automatic payment arrangements.
Okay.
But once that's done, the funds are typically dispersed pretty quickly.
So the money hits our account. We're officially in the RBF club.
You got it.
But the journey doesn't end there, does it?
Oh, it's just the beginning. Now comes the really important part. Managing your RBF agreement effectively.
Okay, so how do we make sure this is a launch pad and not an anchor?
That's what we're going to dive into in the next part of our deep dive.
All right, so we've covered a lot about finding the right provider, navigating the application process.
We have.
But now we need to talk about what happens after you secure that funding.
Absolutely.
How to actually make it work for you.
That's the key.
So buckle up. Get ready to dive even deeper into the world of revenue-based financing.
We're just getting started.